Hello and welcome to the Excel Charts in Depth video tutorial. In this video I'll be showing you how to create charts from data lists or data tables as well within Excel to show you a better way of presenting your data in a picture format. Also, I'll be showing you some power shortcuts, and hopefully some of these you won't know, and it's there to make your life a lot simpler and your workflow when you're using Excel a lot quicker as well. Just to bear in mind, I'm recording this with the latest version of Microsoft Excel, which is Excel 2013. You will probably be using another version, a prior version, or maybe if you're looking at this a lot later on, even a newer version of Excel. The processes I'm going to show you fit all versions of Excel. There's nothing that's Excel type specific for the different versions, so whatever your version you use, you could use all what you see in this video today. Okay, so let's crack on with this. As you can see in front of you, I've just got a list of data with some column headings in the red here, and also a heading that tells me what all this list is about. And that's, in this case, it's the comparison of January and February sales, and we've got the column headings of our chocolate bars, price per unit, shelf locations, January sales, February sales, etc., etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate some graphs from this. So the first thing you need to do when you're generating any graph is to select the data that you want to graph. Now this is quite easy. In our case, I just want to see up to the sales and shelf location, price per unit, and the bars names down here. So we'll select the header and also all the data that we want to select. How do you create a chart? Well, I expect most of you would then come up to Insert and then click some of these drop downs and recommended charts and play around up here on the ribbon. I'm going to show you an easier way of creating this. Once you've selected your data, you're going to hold the Alt and press F1 down, and you'll notice then it generates a chart within the same sheet. It's the standard vertical column chart that Excel uses as its default chart type. You can change that, and I'll show you how to change that later on in the video. So if you, for example, want a line graph to every time come out when you hit Alt F1, or the next power shortcut key I'll show you very shortly. So Alt F1 defaults to the standard vertical column chart, and it puts the chart on the same sheet as the data that you selected. As you can see, I can move this about. I can actually size the chart and move it around. You'll notice when you've got the chart highlighted, you get the Chart Tools tab open. If I deselect that, you'll notice it disappears from the top here. So selecting the chart gives me some more options for formatting this chart about. So the first one we see then, across that we've got a Design tab and a Format tab. Let's have a look at the Design tab first. We can add chart elements over here. We'll talk about that a bit later on. We can add axes, titles, grid lines, legends from over here. We can select a quick layout, and by just moving your mouse over it you can quickly change the layout. We can change colours of how things look within the chart. We can change the chart style by just hovering our mouse over the different chart styles, and there's quite a few that we can select, and you can select whatever one you want from there. There's a few other options here. We can switch rows and columns. We can select data, which I'll show you later. We can change our chart type. For example, we've got the vertical column here, and we can change it to different line, pie charts, and all the different types of charts available within Excel. We can also move the chart. Now, how we've created this chart was with the Alt F1 keyboard shortcut. And if we wanted to move our chart, we can do, and it's quite easy. We select the chart, we select Move Chart, and you see this dialog box comes up. At the moment, it's an object within Sheet 1. We are in Sheet 1, and it's an object within that. Or we can select a new sheet, and it will create a new worksheet within this workbook. So remember, the worksheets are these tabs along here, and we can call it whatever we want from there. So that's how we can move the chart from an object within the sheet or to its own sheet within the workbook itself. I'll cancel that at the moment. So what can we change on this? On the top here you see we've got a chart title which just says chart title. If I click that, and then I can drag the title about, I can click within there and change the title to whatever I want. Okay, and then I can then just click that around and move it about. Or what I can do is click in there, and here's power shortcut number 2. Come up to the formula bar here, type in equals, and then select from the data a title. For example, I'm going to check that one and press enter, and there we go, and we can just recenter that up to there, and we've got a decent title for our chart. The beauty of this one is that if I change the title here, okay, it will change the title within the chart, so we haven't got to worry about how our data is going to be affected or how our chart title is going to be affected if we change the title on our data list. Okay, right, okay, if we click our chart again, come back to the Format tab, and there's a lot of things on here that we can actually start playing with. We can change the way data looks by just hovering over it like so. So there's many things you can do. We can do fill types, okay, we can do pictures, gradients, we can add a picture, okay, and it'll go and we'll load a picture, so you can from a file, okay, from Office Clip Art or whatever. Okay, so let's go back to the Design tab, and we can change our date chart type. We need to have a look at these 3 little buttons down the right hand side. The top one is Chart Elements. If we click in that, we can then start to add different elements on our graph, and by highlighting them it gives you an idea of what they are. So one of the things that you normally have to do is put some axis titles on it. You've got a little arrow here. If I click the little arrow, I can add horizontal, vertical, and there's other options there. But let's just say I want to add a primary horizontal. I can just click that, and then you'll notice here on my chart there that I've now got the axis title. If I make this a bit bigger, and there it is there, and again I can move it around. I can give it a title, okay, I don't know, for example I can give it chocolate bar type, okay, from there, and I can just move that around there. I can come into here, I can come up to my home page. Alright, I can change the font size, I can make it bold, I could give it a different colour, okay, so I can do anything from there. Okay, so that's from your Chart Elements button on the side. Have a play around with some of those and you have a look. The next one down, okay, is the Chart Styles. Now this is just another representation of what we saw up here on our Design tab. But the idea of this, it brings it nearer to your chart, so you're not looking up, so you can see exactly what you want there. You can also change the colours. Again, it's exactly the same as you saw up here earlier, look, on the colours chart there. Okay, so that's that one. The next one is the filter. Now here we can start to filter what we see on our chart. For example, if I don't want to see prices per unit, I don't want to see shelf locations, I just want to see the January and February sales, I can deselect them here and click apply, and then it shows us on our chart there. Okay, so that's how we change various things on our chart types. One of the things that you can do is the series at the bottom here. You can move them about as well and click and drag and do what you want it. If I make them a bit bigger for you. Now here, I can select an element. If I right click this, okay, and come down to select data, and I've got January sales here. If I click January sales and type in edit, I can then change that to whatever I want. Okay, and it will change it to test 2. Okay, so you can change the elements within the legend at the bottom as well. Okay, so I'll cancel that one. The other thing that we can do here, and I mentioned it earlier on in this video, is we can actually change the default style, the default chart when you hit Alt F1. And how we do that is we make sure we come into the chart and we right click and we save as template here. This brings this dialog box up. You give it a name, and you'll notice here I've already got 2 saved, my chart and a test chart here, and you save it. What you can then do is you come up to here and you can change your chart, and we'll come up here to first do change there. So it's back to this one. I said this ribbon way of doing it, and we select our templates, and here's the 2 templates I've got. Okay, now you can make some changes to your graph and save it as a template. You can then choose whichever one you want, and if I choose this line graph as my default chart, I right click it and set as default chart, and every time I press Alt F1 then it will come and be displayed as my default chart. I'm going to cancel that because I want to keep it as the vertical column chart. So that's really all the things you need to change on a chart. I'm going to delete this chart, and by just highlighting it and pressing delete. So I've just shown you how to generate a chart as an object within the same worksheet as the data list. And here's another way, which I think is a lot better way, and it represents the data a lot better. So same thing again, we're going to select the data that we want to chart, like so, but this time instead of pressing Alt F1 we're going to press F11. This is another power shortcut key. Not a lot of people know this one, but now you do, so please feel free to use it. It makes life a lot easier. People in the real world use this all the time. I use F11 quite a lot. Okay, so F11, and now you'll see the difference this time. It will automatically put the chart onto its own worksheet here, and it makes the chart full screen, and we still have the same functionality. Here I can come in and move the chart. I've still got chart types which I can change around. I can change the chart type here, and I can go to line. I can press a line chart. I can press any chart I want to choose. I can choose that one, click OK. I can come back up here and change the default styles to whatever I want. You'll notice here we still have the chart elements, the chart styles, and the chart filter boxes here. Also, if I just double click the chart title, or anywhere in the chart to be honest, you get all these other options here which you can change: fill, gradient fill. You've got text options to change here. Okay, so that's normally hidden like so. Just double click anywhere in the chart and it will open up and select the right part for you to edit on here. Okay, and select all the things. So you can make some really whiz-bangy charts in Excel quite simply. And the power shortcut, remember, for the shortcut title, which we saw earlier on, if I just click in the chart title, come into the formula bar here, press the equal sign, go back to my data list and select that and then press enter, it then pulls that across as the chart title. So that's really all there is to charts, to be honest. 15 minutes long, so not too bad. Play around with them, play around with the elements, but just bear in mind, okay, the two shortcut keys, highlight your data first, and now you can either do Alt F1, which will give you a chart as a element within the same worksheet as your data list, or remember the power shortcut key F11 then produces a chart on its own worksheet but full screen and looks a lot better. And remember also here, if you double click anywhere in the chart, it will open this up and you can then start adjusting things and moving things around and adding legends, adding elements up here, remember, titles, arrow lines, etc. Have a play around. Any problems, ask your buddy, because somebody sat next to you might know a bit more than you. If you're really stuck, ask your tutor or your teacher, depending on what course you're doing, and they will come out around and help you out. Any problems or anything you think that should be added to this video, please drop me an email and we'll speak to your teacher or tutor and they will come and see me. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video tutorial. Have a nice day and good luck. Bye bye.